Hello everyone, welcome back. Happy Thanksgiving. It is Thursday, November 27. Wow, we're almost done the month. Finally, am I right? Um, Not a lot of stuff to talk about today, so we are going to be recycling some, not necessarily recycling old content. I mean, we did get new developments on stuff that we have previously talked about, so we're going to be going over that tonight in more detail, of course. Bitcoin, of course, didn't make any big moves either today, down 0.23%. We're currently at $90,750. So we did kind of slow down at the area that I had more or less predicted. I'm looking at a USDT chart. Let me flip over to USDC. I do want to go back to USDT as I mentioned. So I don't know, maybe I'll work on that tonight, because this is really not too much crazy stuff to do here. So yeah, after we bottomed out on 80,536, we've been in an upward channel for Bitcoin. We are still on a downtrend, however, and we didn't really become overbought just yet, which is a good thing. We approached this, where the downtrend would invalidate, essentially. At 92,000 is where this resistance is. Also complemented by the Fibonacci level 91,323 on Bitcoin. We bounced from those levels. The highest point we hit was 91,900. Give me a break. I was $100 off, but that's fine. And we have since come down to where we are here. Like I said, it's 90,750 approximately. I was kind of looking at maybe a small correction towards 88,000 maybe. And I think we would have enough strength to continue higher because of the fact that we did not hit an overbought level at the 91,000 range, right? We still have the strength to continue higher, and I feel like that level is going to be looking like where we have our resistance level, essentially, at 95,000. I'm getting this level from pivots, as well as, you know, this downtrend line coming from, oh boy. Yeah, well, kind of from here, either way. Which points am I using? 28th of October high and November 10 high draws a downtrend line, which kind of matches with the appropriate amount of time, like from here till the end of the week. 3 more days. We could essentially see a growth of 4% on Bitcoin that could take us to 95,000. This would do a couple of good things for us. It would invalidate the downtrend. I don't know for sure though, because if we do bounce from this level, we're still gonna keep this downtrend line over here and then super trend. I don't know. Maybe we will follow through. Like, we'll need to accumulate one more time somewhere at the bottom over here before we can take off to the next level, which I would be pointing at about 98,000 if the trend is supposed to continue higher. What this would do as well for the super trend is it would essentially flip it to the green, and that's why I have this thing drawn, so that I can do this. It would flip it green, right? Something like this. And, you know, price would eventually follow that. All we would have to do really is just modify the uptrend as long as price remains above whenever we flip the super trend downward like this. Okay, this is terrible, but I'm trying out new stuff, okay? Give me a break. Let's see. I think you guys get what I'm talking about though, right? Essentially, like, the super trend would flip around something like this. If we are able to break out of this level, it's going to look like this once we break out of it from here. And that way, I mean, we could respect this resistance slash downtrend, right? Use whatever support level. I'm just drawing random line. It could be here, it could be here, it could be wherever, but it could give us enough strength to take us higher, flipping the trend into the green so that we could start seeing potential rises for Bitcoin. And by then it's not even a competition reaching 100,000 as soon as we do get confirmation that these do indeed flip over. That's a good vision that I have for Bitcoin right now. I'm going to delete this. Do I? I'll keep it here. Because for the time being, what technical analysis does tell us, with what I'm seeing here, is that Bitcoin should continue lower. That's kind of what I've been seeing, technically speaking. Weekly chart is still bearish. It's flipped to bearish, and that was our exit sign. That was our top, how do I say it? That was the, not the top signal, but, you know, that was your sign to get out of the markets because things were going to eventually keep crashing. But I didn't believe it, and I paid the ultimate price, which is fine. I still have funds. I'll be able to do something with it to kind of recover whatever I've lost more responsibly, which will take more time. I kind of like being irresponsible and take no time, but that could also, it works both ways. So can't fully trust it all the time. Where does this eventually draw us up to here? I like that. Okay. What about this? What am I even looking at here? Okay. No, that's fine. We're fine, dude. Okay. So the other option, like I said, would be obviously toward the downside. If price doesn't go up, it goes down. Isn't that crazy? That's why you guys watch my channel. So that could take us to 87,000, which is what I was first predicting, right? Before we can retest this level. It should break easily and take us to here. That's kind of what I was hoping for. But if it doesn't, then it will just complete yet another simple chart pattern that we all know and love. And that is the bearish flag. How do you even call this? Bear flag chart pattern. Yeah, it's literally this. Pick an image. They all essentially do the same thing. Bear flag, that's what it's called. That's kind of what I'm envisioning here with Bitcoin, right? Can I okay. You see what I'm talking about, right? No, this is terrible. Why do you do this? Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing here. We have our movement downward. We have our little upward channel, which doesn't fully confirm a break of structure here. Where's the change of character? I'm already forgetting my technical analysis terms. Forget it. But this is what should play out according to chart patterns, stuff that people normally see. And I wouldn't rule it out, and it could take us down to 80,000 once again to test that support level. I wouldn't like to see that, but it's likely. We are technically in a bear market, and that is something that could happen. I obviously do believe in, what am I doing? I believe in fundamentals, and they beat technical analysis, and fundamentals today are stronger than ever. Yeah, we've got some wars going on, but there's talks to try to end it. Maybe, hopefully. Who knows if another one is going to come up? Maybe Middle East reignites. Maybe China starts going crazy on Taiwan. So I do have some updates, some more intel for you guys as well. We'll be discussing, but for now, things are fine. We're going to be getting our lovely rate cut. We're going to be getting a very pro Fed chair replacement for Jerome Powell, which we'll also be talking about. I've kind of already discussed it. It's likely gonna be Kevin Hassett, but there are other options there too, which I don't mind either. We'll be going through all of those. Okay, so that's where we're at for Bitcoin. My little analysis on that. And I mean, even if we do head back down to our support level, I looked at volume. It was really high over here, meaning that there's plenty of people willing to purchase and prevent Bitcoin's price from crashing below 80,000. I'm certain not a lot of people would like to see that. And even if it does, I've already done the math here as well. Lowest point, if we do indeed go into a bear market, yeah, we're going to start seeing the 70s again, which nobody wants to see that. Even more, even less, worse. Like I said, worst case scenario is going to be 66,000. The floor for the bear market, from what I've been analyzing in the past. Meaning that from here, you've got a chance to crash another, what are we at? 26, we'll be generous, 25%. Another 25% crash for bear market. Not going to happen overnight. I'm talking about this is going to play out through the year of 2026 if this 4-year cycle is still a thing. I don't know. It seems like this 4-year cycle started early because we hit an all-time high fast in 2024. We weren't supposed to do that. We were supposed to do that in 2025. And it looks like 2025 is the start of a bear market, which means that everything seems to be like 1 year before. You know what I'm saying? 1 year earlier is like how this cycle has been playing out. So maybe 2026, we do find a bottom and then we start rising from there. I don't know. Cycle's messed up. Something's definitely changed ever since we brought in these institutional investors. Import the Wall Street, become the Wall Street. And it's only gonna get worse or better, depending on how you look at things from here, because of the ETFs that we are now about to start mass approving for the altcoins. If Jerome Powell leaves, we get Kevin Hassett, the guy cuts interest rates to 1%, everything will boom, but it's going to have long-term consequences, because inflation might get out of control. The Fed will not be an independent organization. They're just going to be influenced under Trump because, I mean, the guy is already influenced under Trump. Kevin Hassett, he works for the economic something for the White House. So I'm not sure how people are going to feel about that when it comes to the Fed and further interest rates that we project for the next year. Next year, we are projecting more interest rate cuts, by the way. I think 3 in total, if I'm not mistaken, as of right now. But we're getting new projections in this upcoming meeting, which will happen December 10. December 10, we're going into this Fed meeting blind because we either have delayed data or we're getting no data for October, and same thing for November. November, we're delaying the data. October, you're not getting any data because the government was shut down. That's great excuse, I know. You don't know how GDP was, you don't know how inflation or jobs, none of that is going, so all you get, best you can get is September data, and good luck from there, right? That's basically what the White House has been doing. So, awesome. Yeah, we'll see how that works. Let's see what the Fed does. Okay. I wish I could just copy paste this whole chart stuff that I've done. I can recreate it. It's not a big deal because I'm stressed about USDT stuff. Matter of fact, favorites, please. Get out. Oh, here we go. Favorites. Buy. No, I didn't mean to remove BitTensor. It's already in USDT. Okay, fine. So we had Tau. Oh, I have to go here. Tau. No, I didn't mean to do that. Stop it. Can I get rid of this? It's in the way. Hype token plunges 5% amid college football buzz. I guarantee you my whole trading account that is fake news. Hyperliquid has nothing to do with college or whatever sport they just talked about. What I don't even know. Okay, I'm refreshing the page. This is pathetic. Disgusting UI. One thing I was seriously considering is just I want to make my own exchange. Whether it's decentralized or centralized, I don't know. I think I'd rather do decentralized. I don't want to take customer service calls from you people. Are you crazy? Especially because it's going to be buggy. Oh, that's not a good way to market my stuff. No, my platform will be perfect if I was to create a crypto exchange. I'm going to allow X stocks on there so you could trade stocks 24/7. What else would I offer? I guess I'm just basically copying. I don't know. Do we really need another exchange? There's so many of them. I'm not going to be able to compete against Hyperliquid. I'm a one-man army against this huge entity, this, what is it, $8 billion entity for Hyperliquid? What are we at? 12 billion? Yeah, no, thanks. I don't even have 8 grand to my name. So, yeah. But that's just, you know, small, pathetic dream that I have. What else do I got? Ethereum. I don't want to trade Ethereum, though. Because right now I'm going to be focusing more on like short-term trading. I'm going to shift my mindset towards that. Try to recover as much as I can. Any profits that I make, I'll hold a balance. Like, I'm talking like a scale type balance where a portion of the money will be in spot, a certain percentage, and another percentage would be in futures for trading, for, you know, going live and analysis, technical analysis, that kind of stuff on the charts that you guys see daily or nightly. And if I'm running out of money on futures because I'm on a losing streak or whatever, I could sell some spot. Because, you know, futures you can short, right? And if you're losing on a short, that's because markets are going up. And if you're holding spot, you're only holding long. You make money from that. You could take some profits. Easy way to take profits and rebalance everything that way. Seems like it could work, in my opinion. But we'll see. What else do I like? Sui. Sui is great for trading, okay? Now I don't... This is another good thing as well, is on spot I can hold the stuff that actually matters. Bitcoin, sure, Ethereum, and Solana, and Hyperliquid. Do I want to add any more to the list? Chainlink. Oh yeah, I'm gonna add Link. I do want to trade Aptos as well, and I do want to trade... Did I add BitTensor yet? No. How? So I think this was my list from before, unless I'm forgetting something super irrelevant. Solana. Oh my gosh, the most relevant of them all. How could I forget? So yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana would be held on spot. Chainlink. And Hyperliquid. I feel like those are like the biggest, most important projects. Everything else can go to zero, will go to zero eventually. The reason people are holding these other altcoins, potential growth, not so long term, but bigger gains, higher risk, higher reward kind of deal, which sure, fair enough. I've been doing that too. I don't blame you. But other than that, I don't see real utility in the rest of these. And I know some of you guys are going to hate hearing that from me. But yeah, I don't know. Zcash, I understand it. Stellar, I understand. Monero, I understand. Athena, Litecoin. I understand all of these. But it's like, what does this coin do that the other coin can't? What does Zcash have that Bitcoin does not? Privacy? Okay, but I mean, Bitcoin is Bitcoin though. Zcash can fail. I'm not saying that it will, but you know, I don't even know anymore, man. You guys make your own decisions. Don't force me to buy into anything. I'll buy whatever I want, and if it's a bad choice, I'll take full responsibility for it. And then I have like that one space here, because I usually like to fill up everything over here. But another thing is you don't want to trade too many options of cryptocurrencies. So what do I even do? I don't like XRP or Binance. Nor Doge. Cardano fell off, I'm sorry. Bitcoin Cash, just hold Bitcoin. Maybe Stellar. Litecoin OG will be fine. Hedera's getting an ETF, that's all I know about it. Avalanche, maybe a stablecoin from Korea, I think, is on Avalanche. They're also big into gaming, but gaming is kind of dead. Same deal with Sui, they're also more into gaming. But they've also got other dApps out there. Better than Solana, but it's not widely used or trusted yet. Because like Solana has its ETFs, Sui is still in the process of getting them. Still gotta wait for that. Shiba Inu dead meme coin. Chronos, good exchange, but... And, you know, great partnerships with Trump, but I think we're relying a little too hard on Mr. Trump. Toncoin. Dude, I don't know. I don't like the fact that when Pavel Durov gets arrested, the whole coin crashes. The ecosystem becomes useless. It lost all its value because the guy got arrested. Like, come on. I understand why. Like, they're scared that, oh, the French government is going to make him leak all this data from Telegram and destroy his crypto project. He's a billionaire, man. He'll know what to do. He's got good lawyers or whatever. He'll be fine. Don't worry about it. BitTensor, I mean, you could argue the same thing with BitTensor and Zcash versus Bitcoin. They both use Bitcoin's tokenomics with a 21 million maximum. You mine them. There's some amount in circulation. 16 million Zcash versus 10 million BitTensors, Tau. Can I get rid of this? I don't like this. Whatever. Nothing I could do. And then Bitcoin, of course, 19 million. Almost there, guys. And remember, 2 million Bitcoin lost forever. It's either 2 or 4. 2 to 4 million Bitcoins, potentially, lost forever. Another thing I noticed, might as well talk about this. Other stuff that we could expect, Ethereum's Fusaka upgrade, which will launch on December 3rd, should help with Ethereum's transaction fees, especially for the layer 2 networks, and reducing validator costs to improve scalability. It basically means cheaper DeFi NFTs, faster Oracle updates on Ethereum-based chains. So that will be good for Ethereum. Might as well talk about it now. Also, I like that it fixes the order here, because for whatever reason in USDC, it would put Ethereum first, and that would just annoy me and make me hate Ethereum even harder. It's fine. I'll start fresh on a template. It's good to start fresh again so you could redo your analysis and be like, okay, what's next? I mean, it's kind of the same thing that we're seeing with Bitcoin, especially when it comes to that chart pattern that I was showing you. The bear flag can happen. I don't think it's going to drop that low, but you get the point, right? Same deal. We were at a crucial level. Didn't break past 3,063. We hit a high of 3,067. That was pretty good. Was it this one? No, we were higher than that. 3,069. Okay. And we didn't close above it though, so it didn't really change the trend completely, meaning that we're still in a downtrend for Ethereum. Current price is 3,003. The 3,000 level is indeed on life support. Can we give it CPR? Stay tuned to find out. What else we got? Let me go to a larger time frame. This is better now because we have actual historical data, like especially on weekly charts. That's something that I truly value. Yeah, last week everything, majority of assets flipped their weekly trend to the red, meaning that we shouldn't expect much rising. Areas of accumulation potentially on spot. That's one thing that I would agree with, especially if you do fully trust in the project. So, yeah, 3,000, currently the most important level. Any trends that I see long-term, there's like this super long-term trend that I don't even know if anybody is even paying attention to. Then you got, would you even count this anymore? It's just so long ago. And even these prices, it means we're talking about sub $2,000 Ethereum, which, like, that's ever gonna happen, right? Totally didn't happen earlier this year. How did we, 1,384. Yeah, that was unbelievable. I lived through that. I survived that. I'm gonna post this, like I could screen capture this, post it on my wall and show it to my kids and be like, look, I survived that. Well, no, not really. I lost a lot of money, but I bought that dip. Okay, believe me. I sold at around like 4,000. That was pretty good, so it was kind of worth the wait. Some of them I sold a bit early, like around over here, 2,500, I remember. Which I do regret, of course. Yeah, Ethereum almost hit 5,000. Who would have known? We're literally at 1,384 during a bull market, so it's like, what do you even want from me anymore? I guess this is the weekly yeah, the weekly uptrends that we could look at, but we are technically in a downtrend, and that one looks like very much longer term. That's what we could expect for it. Let's go to a daily chart. I like doing top down first. This is kind of what I'm seeing here as well in the near term. And then we also have this one. So a little steeper that it's likely going to break out of soon. That I think I could go to the 4-hour chart for. And I will. That would take us, yeah, kind of what where we're at right now. Yeah, I'll ignore it. Because it's technically gone either way, so it doesn't help us too much. Really just got to focus more on this super trend if it does break. If not, we'll make another bounce lower to maybe 2,700. That's not too good, but, or maybe it could go lower, who knows. First support level for Ethereum is from pivots, it's 2,540. That is painfully low. But I think we could probably ignore this support level because It was so volatile last week. The amount we dropped, it was too much. That even I was a bit surprised that we went from like, yeah, we'll stay above 3,000 to suddenly like, no, we're currently 2,600 on Ethereum. I did not get liquidated. No, I was 2,426. I was so close. Yeah, I gotta stop doing this, guys. Don't do what I do. Use a stop loss. Learn from me, okay? Lose a couple thousand, but don't lose all your thousands. You know what I'm talking about. Solana, negative funding rate, by the way. Same deal. Still in its downtrend. Market shows signs of correction. Wow, no kidding. Didn't know that. Okay, Solana. Kind of got this going on, which I like. Weekly trend looks okay. Except for this one, of course. We didn't really break an all-time high, right? This is Trump releases his meme token on Solana, causing Solana to go all-time high, but the weekly trend is looking like this. The actual downtrend, right? Which invalidates at 236 plus. Oh, wow. Imagine Solana 236. How long until we get there? Let me go to a daily chart first. It's so funny how we were like, oh, I can't believe Solana went from $220 to $140 on October 10. The crash was so huge. And then, like, we just gradually continue going lower. We hit 121. Like, give me a break. But yeah. Immediate downtrends are going to start looking a little sharper. I think we're going to see kind of what we saw with Ethereum. This is a little better, actually. It's not good that it's in a downtrend, but, you know, you understand the lines a little bit easier here. Which is good. Okay. That being said, we got to break 144 plus to have our trend flipped over. Same deal as well with Bitcoin. A lot of these are very similar, and I've talked about it yesterday. We did not hit overbought levels for a lot of assets. We approached major resistances, which we did not break out of, and we are currently heading lower. We're going to have to find another area of accumulation to gather more, you know, more liquidity, more money, so that we can have another attempt. The second attempt is more likely to break out. Otherwise, we'll have a double roof, and that just means we'll head lower, which is also not good. I know a lot of stuff is pointing towards the downside, but that's why it's important. It's crucial to have something close above the 144. We need one of those God candles. We need Trump to, I don't know, release another meme coin on Solana. Maybe that'll fix it, right? No, clearly not. Nothing's going to fix this anymore. We remove tariffs from China. Nobody cares. We just crash lower. No, but we know the real reason why, and I talked about it yesterday in JP Morgan's manipulation. They're the ones responsible for all this manipulated selling. Them and maybe BlackRock. Yeah, BlackRock. It's either a blessing or it's a curse. They could just take all that. How much is it now? 800,000 bitcoins, and dump it on you. If they immediately did that right now, this is a good exercise. I'm really bad at this, so I tend to. There's this history of me embarrassing myself while I do this live, trying to calculate what prices would be if something cataclysmic happens. First of all, let me confirm the amount again. How much bitcoins does BlackRock have? That is not real. That's not correct. They have 805,534.48 bitcoins. There we go. That is so outdated. Hey, BitGet, fix that. And give me a sponsorship. Let me trade on your darn platform. So this amount of bitcoins, at the current price of right now, which is about 90,000. Oh, am I doing this right? No, I'm not doing this right. Supply and circulation. Hold on, let me get this information. I'm trying to think. No, I how do I do this? We're basically removing the market cap, right? Gosh, like I said, I tend to embarrass myself doing this stuff live. 90,850. They currently have $73 billion. That's billion, right? Okay. The current market cap of Bitcoin is 1,812,806,970,055. 1,812,000,000,000. If we add, we're adding, right? No, we're moving market cap from here because that is being sold off. That would be the new market cap of Bitcoin divided by the amount of Bitcoins in circulation, which is 19,950,000, would drop Bitcoin's price to 87,199. Oh, it's not even that bad. How do they even manipulate markets then? My math is right. If BlackRock sold all their Bitcoins right now, Bitcoin would crash from 90,800 to 87,200 approximately. Math ain't mathing, am I right? That literally will take us to our support level that I had. Almost. 87,200. Right around over here. That's if BlackRock sells everything. It's not even that bad. But what would cause more panic is the public. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, BlackRock did a 180. They don't hold Bitcoins anymore. We're scared. Dump even harder. It's going to be as bad as if Satoshi sold or if MicroStrategy sold. MicroStrategy holds 650,000 Bitcoins. So the impact from MicroStrategy should be even less, right? And we also have, we know that the MSCI January 15 will take out MicroStrategy from these index, the Russell index and the NASDAQ index, because they think it's, you hold 50% of your assets in well, 50% of your treasury in assets, you're basically a Bitcoin fund. You might as well be Grayscale or BlackRock, but worse, because they lost the magic of their multiplier effect on MicroStrategy. That is why price has been crashing a lot. So, yeah. I also read that a negative ruling could trigger like a $1.3 billion Bitcoin sell-off. Don't know. Don't know about that one, but yeah. Also important to look out for. January 15, no good. It's guaranteed, by the way, that price will drop from that. It's going to have an effect, and MicroStrategy will suffer. But I think people have already like priced it in by now. Especially the FUD that JP Morgan has been doing. They know what they're doing, okay? There's that. I mean, what else we got? Quantum computing threat. We don't got to worry about that till decades in the future. We're fine, dude. I did also read, though, that we were seeing a lot of OG Bitcoin holders either move their Bitcoin or sell it, right? And there's two potential reasons for that. One, yeah, they probably think this was the end of this cycle and they want to cash out. Sure, they have billions in profit right now. Especially, we talked about the one from, I remember he had 11,000 Bitcoins from 2011. Very early pioneer, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's worth billions right now. So, fair enough. Sure, take your profits. What are you going to need more billions for? What are you going to start a space exploration company? No, just go to the beach, have fun with the rest of your life, and donate some to me. That would be awesome too. But there's that, and then there's also the second reason. The legacy wallets, so pre-Taproot, are vulnerable to, you know, attacks like that because they didn't have the extra layer of security until after one of those early updates. So they're moving their Bitcoin to new addresses that do have the updates to protect them against any security vulnerabilities, which is a smart move, right? But, you know, people see, oh, this Bitcoin OG whale is moving their Bitcoins around and they're probably going to sell off and we're going to panic dump because that is a lot of Bitcoins. It's not even that much, dude. Come on. If my math is correct, I think there's some factor I'm probably missing. like I don't know, maybe the sell-off is more exponential than what I just calculated over here, because I'm doing this based off if they just sold it all at the same price. But no, obviously price will continue going lower and lower as they keep selling off. I don't know, maybe it wouldn't even be that bad then. I don't know. You guys do the math at home. Let me know if I'm wrong. But yeah. So that's another thing that we could worry about, but that's for the future. Okay. I didn't even talk about these other stuff. Man, I'm on this crazy monologue today. I'm not stalling for time, trust me. But hey, this is treated as a Thanksgiving special. Wasn't I like 20 minutes late as well? It's already 10? Oh my gosh, dude, what am I doing? Sui, everybody's favorite altcoin, 152. Isn't it crazy? How are we still down here? Didn't break past 160. We had this peak over here where we had a high of 161, but didn't close above there yet. So we're ranging at the top for practically everything. It's all the same. No movement today. Well, down 2% is what it says, but that's just normal Sui movement, which is awesome. I like Sui's high volatility like that, except for when it goes against me. But I mean, if you're trading this in like smaller time frames, I think this actually has really great potential, because if you're doing like 1 to 3 risk reward ratio or something like that, right, the odds of you hitting that profit is pretty likely, especially if it has huge moves. Either it makes a huge move against you, which you already have your risk management in place, you have a set amount that you're ready to lose. But if it goes in your favor, which if you're using your strategy correctly and you're predicting stuff properly, yeah, it goes in your favor, you make profits pretty easily. That's the way I see it. We'll see though, I gotta practice it myself, so I'll give you guys updates on that if that ever does happen. Hyperliquid, $34 flat. We got to break 37.21 to flip our trend around, and this is a beautiful chart. And Hyperliquid chart is already analyzed by me because there's no USDC version, so that already kept there in USDT. BitTensor, same deal with the USDC, USDT, but we're still on a downtrend for it. Got to break above 322 for us to see a trend flip around. The highest level we hit was 323, but we didn't close above that. We didn't close there or higher, so yep, we're still technically in a downtrend. My position's still open here. I don't have any open position on Hyperliquid. Probably should have. Even on spot, this was a great price rather, at $29, $30. Pretty good steal. So gotta wait for a better opportunity there. Chainlink, 1326 right now. I have an open position as well, which is heavily in the red. I break even at 1671, dude. We're at 1326. That's not too far off. How much do we need? 24%? We can do that in like 2 weeks. 1326. Okay. Lowest point was 1160. No big changes here, honestly. Still on a downtrend. Got to break above 1376. And lastly, Aptos. Still pathetic move. Aptos is like one of the few that hasn't moved, and it just kept on selling off over here. Great prices still, but what is this? Chinese cybersecurity threats impact Aptos price momentum. What? Hey, maybe. I don't know. There is some cyber attacks going on right now, so we will talk about that. Might as well go ahead and get into it now. Because, yeah, I've been spending too much time talking about technical analysis. But hey, hope it was useful. You learned something awesome. Great. So, we're going to talk about this. I hope this does not get me censored or banned, but whatever. We had the mass shooting in DC, which I briefly touched on yesterday. I did it again. I spread misinformation. I read one article that said 3 people died. No, there was 2 people who were severely injured, 2 federal officers who got shot in the head by this Afghan terrorist, basically. CIA Director John Ratcliffe confirms, here we go, Ramanullah Lakhanwal, the Afghan national accused of shooting 2 National Guardsmen near the White House, previously worked with the CIA in Afghanistan before being brought to the US under Biden's evacuation program. His asylum was approved earlier this year. Ratcliffe, the current CIA director, says, in the wake of the disastrous Biden withdrawal from Afghanistan, huge error, by the way, The Biden administration justified bringing the alleged shooter to the United States in September 2021 due to his prior work with the United States government, including CIA. The individual, and so many others, should have never been allowed to come here. Our citizens and service members deserve far better than to endure the ongoing fallout from the Biden administration's catastrophic failures. Crazy stuff. And Trump addressed the nation while I was live yesterday, by the way. Great timing, Trump. So I missed this news, but here we are to recap it. Awesome. Trump appears to confirm that they're probably going to give him the death penalty to the Afghan shooter. He says that we will bring the perpetrator to swift and certain justice if the bullets coming in the opposite direction haven't already done that. Good, make it fast. Tonight I can announce that I have directed the Department of War to mobilize an additional 500 troops to protect our capital city. Is that enough though? Is it too little too late? He still says that we will make America totally safe again. Let's hope so. And today he had another press conference live. I think this was at Mar-a-Lago. I think. No, this is probably White House, dude. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, he was not happy. And well, yeah, he still did the Q&A to the reporters. He gave more information. He confirmed that, yeah, he was a CIA asset. He went crazy. Shot 2 National Guards members. Trump says that he went completely crazy, and this often happens to these people. I'm assuming he had mental issues with PTSD or whatever because he was in that Afghan war with the disastrous withdrawal with Biden. That's what the people are saying. So, yeah, it's something that may something happens to them and they go cuckoo. All right, nice. This is the president, by the way. But sad news confirming that one of the National Guardsmen, member Sarah Beckstrom, has sadly passed away from her injuries. So when they got shot, they were in critical condition and hospitalized, and one's already confirmed passed away. The other one I think is still in critical condition, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Beckstrom was shot by a suspected Afghan national. Seconds before I went on right now, I heard that Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, highly respected young magnificent person, she just passed away. She's no longer with us, looking down at us right now. Her parents are with her. This just happened. Rest in peace. Indeed, sad news. And then the fake news, of course, asks, why do you blame the Biden administration? Trump says, because they let him in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? He really went off on this reporter. They came in on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here. So yeah, he let him have it. Fair enough. I mean, whatever. But hey, I didn't include it on this for the stream, but Marjorie Taylor Greene, I saw, she seems to be attacking both right now, especially after announcing her resignation from the Republican Party, saying that, hey, it's both parties that are at fault for this. It's Trump's fault because, this is still happening under his administration, and it's also Biden's fault for the whole issue with the Afghan war, whatever has been going on over there. The little bit that I know is that, yeah, they did have to hire some people over there to join the CIA to help in their military operations. And when eventually the Taliban was taking over, they were going to capture, kidnap, take them as political prisoners, the people who were basically, they felt, betraying Afghanistan, or the Taliban rather. Those Afghan members seeked asylum in the United States. They came here as refugees, fleeing that war, fleeing persecution from the Taliban, and that's how they got here, right? So, and then one of them, I don't know if he genuinely had PTSD, or if he was actually part of the Taliban and disagreed with the United States. Apparently his parents were saying that, no, he loved Trump, he loved the United States. I don't know why he would do this. He went crazy indeed. Okay, we're playing the crazy card here, but he's in police custody. We'll bring him to justice. I don't know. Crazy stuff, though. On top of that, though, other stuff was mentioned. On a lighter note, President Trump says that the U.S. may completely cut income tax due to tariff revenue. A lot of stuff happening with taxes. No tax on tips. Sure, big corporations, no tax or lower taxes for them. But cutting income tax for American residents because we're just going to get so much money from tariffs seems like a good thing. Another reason why the Supreme Court should not rule against the tariffs or deem them illegal, right? Would work in that sense. The other, I don't want to say bribery, but like the other point that Trump is trying to make is, look, I'm going to be giving a $2,000 dividend to Americans. And this is all coming from the tariff money that I'm bringing in. So don't call them illegal. Otherwise, you're going to deny a $2,000 check to all these Americans, these hardworking Americans. And you don't want to do that, Supreme Court, do you? And he's doing this, of course, right before the midterms to kind of, keep it fresh in people's minds. Oh, look, I have a $2,000 stimmy check. Thanks, Trump. I'm going to re-vote for the Republicans. I feel like that's the power play here, because we're expected to get those, you guys are expected to get those mid next year. And midterm elections would happen late next year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so enjoy. Markets already heavily priced this in, so it's not going to have a big impact on the prices. And it's not even too much money either. And he's also using the rest of that to allegedly pay off the U.S. national debt and potentially abolish income tax. Would be cool. The other thing with income tax is there's another congressman proposing if you pay your taxes with Bitcoin, the U.S. will accept it and they will use that Bitcoin and just add it to the strategic reserve that already exists, by the way. That way we can keep increasing our reserves, which would be a good thing. But I don't know who would, because that's what other people were saying, like, who is going to pay their taxes in Bitcoin? That's dumb. But we're still going to, I don't know, if you really care about the government, you can give them Bitcoin. I don't know, it's up to you guys. Give them fiat money or give them Bitcoin. If it was up to me, I would give them fiat money. You could take the money that you infinitely print. I'm keeping my Bitcoin for myself. I'm going to be selfish about it. So yeah. Okay, seems like Trump is indeed doubling down. So he's deploying 500 more National Guard troops. And he is also ending the protected status for the 353,000 Haitian migrants. Deportation countdown starts February 3rd. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Noam terminated the temporary protected status for Haiti, hitting 353,000 Haitian migrants who now lose protections on February 3rd of 2026. That means unless they got another legal basis to stay, they're eligible for deportation right after, about 10 weeks from now. Noam admits Haiti still got gang hell and displacement, but straight up says extending TPS is contrary to U.S. national interest. I think finally something good here. I don't know, okay? But they're pushing self-deportation with free flights and a $1,000 cash incentive via the CBP app. Great. So you could self-deport and you get $1,000 and you go back to gang hell in Haiti and maybe die. I don't know. That's the other issue, right? Is if it genuinely is that bad in Haiti, I don't know how I feel about sending these poor people back over there to practically die. But then what do we do about it? Like, we can't really have them here. What is TPS anyway? Temporary protected status. It's temporary. It's going to have to end eventually. We waited for Haiti to solve their problems, and if they still haven't solved it up till now, it's on the Haitian government. But then, I don't know. We're talking about human lives here. Good thing I'm not president. I don't have to make these decisions. But yeah, best I can do is commentate on them. Biden kept kicking the can and Trump kicked it out the door. Okay, great. And if you remember what happened last year, this was an issue since last year, especially during the presidential debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. The Haitian migrants that were flooding the state of Ohio is what people were complaining about. Springfield, Ohio specifically. They can finally have their towns back is what Americans are seeing from this. And, I mean, it brings other stuff as well, such as insurance will go back down after they leave. No anchor babies. And then this. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. You remember the meme. Come on. So yeah, I don't know if it was 100% confirmed or not, but hey, there was some pretty compelling video evidence of, I don't know, Haitian migrants just eating pets, geese. I don't know. Got pretty crazy over there. So that's that. There is also reports that Trump's setting a deadline for Hezbollah in Lebanon now for disarmament. The U.S. has reportedly given Lebanon until December 31st to disarm Hezbollah or accept responsibility for what follows. Okay. Let's hope it goes smoothly. I don't know if they will want to disarm. What do we even do with the Middle East anymore? Whatever. And we also got China to worry about. Must be stressful being president, huh? After speaking with China's President Xi, President Trump called Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaishi. I love that name. Sanae Takaishi. It's so cool. He advised her not to provoke China over Taiwan, per the Washington Street Journal. Okay. Because that was something we did talk about as well before, is that China was getting a little concerned with Japan's stance on defending Taiwan. Because they did explicitly say, like, hey, if China attacks Taiwan, we're stepping up for them. So don't do it. And China's like, what are you doing? You could accept that word from the United States, but not from Japan. Come on now. So, yeah, who knows? And on the Eastern European side, Putin confirms the US and Ukraine submitted the 28-point list, not a treaty, for negotiation before his visit to Alaska. So this 28-point peace plan that we've been talking about, it's been in the works for a while now. Something that I kind of didn't really know about, but it's there. And this is kind of a summary as to what is currently going on. Because it's like, it seems like, oh, Ukraine accepts the peace deal, but not really, because they changed some stuff. But then Russia accepts it, but they don't want to accept it anymore because Ukraine changed some stuff. And then Europe is another party in this big mess. How do we get them out? How do we, I don't know. Huge issue. He says Moscow is open to use it as a basis for future agreements, but warns against Western hysteria. He does also mention that Russia never planned to attack Europe. That sounds ridiculous to us. The reason he says this is because it's part of the reason why Europe is involved in all of this. They do want to protect Ukraine, even though it's not part of NATO. And they're also opening the door to the possibility of Ukraine joining NATO, which Russia does not want. And it's a non-starter for when it comes to the peace deal. They don't want Ukraine to join NATO. We know that. The United States did something different, like, well, they could be protected by the European Union, that's for sure, but they're going to have to limit their military, they're going to have to give up some of the land. That was part of the 28-point peace plan, and Europe is concerned over Russia, continuing to attack Ukraine and just taking over it entirely, because that will mean if Russia can take over Ukraine, they're going to take over the rest of Europe, and they feel like that is a threat. So they don't want Ukraine to lose the war, is essentially what's happening. But Russia's basically confirming, don't worry guys, we're not going to attack you, we're only attacking Ukraine because it belongs to us. He accuses some Western leaders of either being not in their right mind or crooks, lying to their own citizens to boost arms spending or distractions from domestic failures. He says, they say Russia is preparing to attack Europe so they can urgently strengthen their defenses. Either they serve private defense firms or they're trying to raise their political ratings amid a dismal economy. It's total nonsense, a lie. Based Putin. Yeah, I agree. He does offer Ukraine the deal as well. If Ukrainian forces withdraw from the contested territories, Russia will immediately cease all military operations. Should they refuse to do so, Russia will compel their withdrawal through force until peace is achieved. Yeah, I don't know. Attacks keep on going. Ukraine launched this war's largest drone. Okay, this grammar, am I right? Ukraine just launched one of its largest drone swarm attacks against Russia. There you go. I fixed it for you. They're still going at it. And this is spooky and pretty cool. I don't know. Oh, literally this GIF, the saluting pigeon. Apparently there are spy pigeons fitted with brain implants and cameras that can be controlled like drones. They've been unveiled by Putin's scientists. Imagine, I don't even know if this is real. I don't think it is. I don't want to believe it is. I think a lot of people know the pigeons. They work for the government, man. They're spying on us. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? Literally that, right? Another thing that's going on, North Korea, they're making Russian, the language, a mandatory subject in its schools, starting in the 4th grade. They're pretty close with each other, these guys. North Korea, Russia. I have no negative comments about that. Hackers breached a single IT vendor serving South Korean banks, spreading Guillen ransomware to 28 firms and stealing 2 terabytes of data. Okay, cool. More hacks going on targeted at South Korea from Russian and North Korean groups. The investigators say the attack shows signs of cooperation between them. They're working together pretty hard now. So, okay, even when it comes to cyber attacks. Let's see how that plays out. Another Korean exchange, South Korean, I assume, Upbit, also got hacked. About $36 million was drained on the Solana network in an attack at 4:42 Korea Standard Time, hours before Upbit disclosed the incident. The exchange says that all user losses will be fully covered from its own reserves. Don't worry, you'll get your 36 million Solana back. It's $36 million in Solana back. Which would be about like 1.5x this amount. Oh, don't make me do math. 45 million Solana? No, 50 million Solana. Okay, sure. Yeah, that's happening. Why is this always here? Coinbase apparently also experiencing an outage, causing delayed transaction sends for some user. Classic Coinbase. Elon Musk, SpaceX, also transferring Bitcoin around. Again, I don't know why they frequently do this. Last month it was happening as well, which we also covered, but they're sending it over to Coinbase is what it looks like. They sent 1,163 Bitcoins, which is worth 105 million to 2 unmarked wallets. SpaceX currently holds 6,095 Bitcoins, which is worth 553 million. Come on, Elon, don't do the wrong thing. You guys know Tether apparently has been... We knew that they were buying a lot of gold, but this is insane. They actually became the largest independent holder of gold in the world. Why don't you buy the digital gold, Tether? What are you doing? I mean, just in case the digital network goes down. They're backed by physical gold, so there you go. We have some insider trading, not really, but yeah, Senator Dave McCormick, he just filed purchases of up to $150,000 in Bitcoin. BitB. I'm assuming this is Bitwise's Bitcoin ETF. Can I just look at this from here? Come on. Yeah, Bitwise Bitcoin ETF. McCormick sits on the Senate Committee on Banking. Maybe filed on Thanksgiving to avoid attention. Hey, well, it caught my attention. And Quiver Quantitative, shout out. Okay. We also have this to talk about. I have to go a couple threads back. IBIT options finally getting the treatment it deserves. Apparently there's a little update going on with trading options on Bitcoin ETFs. For BlackRock specifically. Institutional volume is finally here. NASDAQ just filed to increase options limit to 1 million from 25,000 a year ago. Bullish news for Bitcoin. NASDAQ just moved IBIT, which is BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, into the same regulatory class as the largest, most liquid equities on Earth. They're raising options limit from 25,000 contracts to 1 million contracts, which is 40 times more room for institutional derivatives exposure. Meaning that when expiry dates come, usually on the second Fridays, every second Friday, the volatility might be a little larger. About 4 times larger. This is the transition point from ETF adoption phase to derivatives market phase, and Bitcoin's price discovery always goes vertical when derivatives scale. I don't know about that, but yeah. It could go vertical to the other way as well, just letting you know. Bitcoin just got promoted to mega cap status. The rule filing literally says they're doing this because IBIT has reached the same level of market cap, liquidity, and trading frequency as the biggest stocks. This is the category reserved for Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft's SP 500 ETF and NASDAQ ETF. That's the club Bitcoin is in right now. The market is formally treating Bitcoin as a top-tier global asset class with no liquidity constraints. So congratulations, BlackRock. On top of that, by the way, BlackRock is also that JP Morgan deal with it's basically options on steroids as well, what JP Morgan is doing with BlackRock's ETF. And now something's going on, man. The manipulation is clear. Come on. Bitcoin just got invited to the "you don't get to complain about liquidity ever again" club. NASDAQ just promoted IBIT into the same derivatives tier as Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, SPY, QQQ. Read that again. Bitcoin is now in the same liquidity bracket as the assets that literally define the global financial system. That is impressive, I won't lie. They didn't raise the options from 25,000 to a million. Wait, did I say 4x? I meant 40x then. Yeah, I can't do math, as you guys can probably tell, but yeah. They didn't do it because they felt like it. They did it because the market has already decided Bitcoin is a mega cap asset, whether Washington likes it or not. This is the moment every banker secretly feared. This is where Bitcoin stops being that weird decentralized experiment and becomes a fully weaponized regulated asset class with institutional grade derivatives depth. You don't scale options by 40x unless you know demand is about to detonate. You don't place Bitcoin beside Apple and Microsoft unless you accept the uncomfortable truth that Bitcoin isn't going away. You don't let Wall Street run a million contract derivatives book on Bitcoin unless you're preparing for price discovery that will liquefy every bear still clinging to 2018 talking points. This is the page where the story flips. I read a lot of poetic stuff there. Alright, moving on. Sorry. Kevin Hassett. Talked about this guy before. He is the clear favorite for the next Fed chair, and markets are reacting. Which, I mean, that could also play its role in Bitcoin's movement as well over here. It should be all markets though, right? Not just Bitcoin, because the fact that Hassett could be the next replacement for Jerome Powell, we might see a higher chance of rate cuts in general, because this guy's probably going to do what Trump wants. And that should be good for literally any asset. So the top prediction markets candidates are showing is Hassett at 55% chance, Christopher Waller 19% chance. By the way, Waller wouldn't be that bad either. He is pro rate cut for this upcoming meeting. That's confirmed by me. And Kevin Warsh, I don't know who this guy is. 15% chance. Who are you, sir? Former member of the Federal Reserve Board. Oh, I remember this guy. Yeah, he left and now he could be nominated as Fed chair. Yeah, we'll see. His rise matters for Hassett because Hassett is known for pushing for faster and deeper rate cuts. He is a strongly pro-growth, market-friendly stance. He has that stance. He has a support for Fed independence. Okay, so there's the reassurance that we don't got to worry that this guy's going to be, yes, Trump, I'll do whatever you say. And also a macro view seen as bullish for stocks and crypto. Good, and these prediction markets come from Kalshi. We will be talking about Kalshi now. Apparently, they are now facing a nationwide class action lawsuit, alleging it's operating an illegal sports betting operation by misleading users into believing they are betting against other participants, when in reality they are betting against the company themselves. Uh-oh, that's not too good. Here's an update from it. Lawsuit also claims Kalshi enables addictive gambling behavior among underage users and has sponsored a variety of influencers, including a 15-year-old gaming influencer to promote the platform. Can we bet on the outcome? That's funny. I mean, yeah, like this is classic. We're gonna investigate this prediction market because of gambling. We're gonna investigate Pump.Fun because of gambling. I'm sure it'll go nowhere. Kalshi will be fine. It's nothing burger, in my opinion. But there was this story. I don't know if this is the 15-year-old that is referring to. It was some young guy. Could have been a 15-year-old. I don't know. A blonde kid. And I don't know, he was really into CSGO gambling and then sports gambling. He was probably not 15 then if he's doing all this stuff, but apparently, yeah, he's also the top gainer on Kalshi. Can I look this up? Kalshi. Surely it'll come up as one of the first news over here. What's the guy's name? He was named like the top. Here he is. This kid. He's not a kid. He's definitely in his 20s. Okay. Foster is the guy's name. Tech guy, developer, degenerate, now trading prediction markets in full time. I'm pretty sure he also trade crypto and everything. He did a lot of trading. He knows all about this stuff. And he's the top mentioned market traders with over $380,000 in profit. He's always been obsessed with trading CSGO skins, sports, and then eventually anything with Kalshi. His strategy is simple. Stay glued to current events and understand how headlines move the markets. Says he spent a long time watching headlines move prices until he felt like he had a handle on how they impact it. And now use that gun instinct to make trades. He hit multiple 100x plays in mention markets. Mention markets is like, will Caroline Leavitt say the word China in the press briefing? And that's pretty easy money. I also saw this other post where, how did it go? It was, why doesn't Donald Trump like put a lot of money betting that on just like another event, random event, puts it on Polymarket or Kalshi as a prediction market. He does all the stuff, like he fulfills all those mentions in whatever event he's talking about. He makes huge profits and uses that to pay off the national debt. Why don't we just do that? Which, yeah, why don't we just do that? Would it break the markets? How would it work? I don't know. Or maybe the guy was just tripping and I don't know. More recently, he crushed a synthetics trading competition. While Bitcoin was tanking, Bitcoin markets were updating instantly, but the competition leaderboard lagged. He noticed G-Money had made massive unrealized short and loaded up on him at 50 cents before the market caught up. He walked away with a few thousand in profit. Crazy. His advice to new traders? Oh, that's you guys. Build confidence. Own a niche to become the person who knows more than the market. If the price is cheaper than my estimation, I will buy yes, and if it's higher, I will buy no. Okay, I don't know. From what I understand is that it's not allowed. Like if I go to Kalshi right now, I can't use it, right? Kalshi. This might not be good. I don't know what to expect here. Log in. Okay, I don't think I'll log in now. I don't know if I'm allowed to be on here from Canada, right? Like, because there's stuff that's saying, is it legal in the US? Kalshi is a regulated nationwide exchange for real-world events subject to exclusive federal jurisdiction. Okay, thanks for nothing, I guess. Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I tried with Polymarket, I think, and it said it wasn't available for me. Polymarket. Okay. I don't know. Seems like it's only American. Or, I don't know, some other places. Not in Canada, though. We don't deserve these products, these amazing products, because we have our elbows up or something. Okay, so that is all for tonight. There you go. I spent, oh my gosh, an hour and 8 minutes. It's 10:30, what? Yeah, fair enough. I delayed these starts a little bit. I was focusing on the thumbnail too hard. And also finding stories what to talk about. There wasn't really too much, but hey, we still managed to hit an hour because we're just good like that. Yeah. How are we with subscribers? Allow me to verify that. We were really close. We were at 497 last I checked. We're still at 497. Come on, fellers. Hit that subscribe button. Get me to 500 and I'll stop begging. I promise. Promise you money, I'll stop begging. We're really close. 3 subscribers away. Thanks so much, guys, for the support, as always. That'll be all for tonight. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to have a half day in the markets. Today, U.S. markets were closed, obviously, because of Thanksgiving, something I should have mentioned at the beginning of the stream. That's why we had no volatility today, but Don't expect nothing too crazy either tomorrow. We're going to get some move, but nothing too big. And in my opinion, might be toward the downside, toward the 87, 88,000 area. Before we gain enough strength to push even higher, we would be overbought by the time we hit 95,000. And then we could, you know, we'll break the downtrend. We could start seeing some good stuff for Bitcoin. If not, we'll continue the flag pattern and head lower. So there you go. There's my little summary for you guys. Okay, that's all. Have a